Even though Max's victory was significant for both him and the sport as a whole, people speculated about Lewis Hamilton's possible retirement. Surprisingly, the identical rumors were spreading with newly crowned champion Max Verstappen. He brought up Nico Rosberg's surprising retirement from Formula 1 in 2016, revealing the reason for his permanent departure from the sport when speaking to the media. But when Verstappen is at his career's peak, what can be the reason behind his premature retirement? What even is driving him to think of his retirement at this point? That's what we are going to find out in this episode. Plus, there will be a lot more also. Hello Formula 1 geeks, welcome back to another inspiring episode. In today's video, we are going to take a look at Max Verstappen's unusual relationship with his team and what can prompt him to retire from Formula 1. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the topic now. In the F1 races, the majority of the focus remains on the driver's performance, but Formula 1 is essentially a team sport. From the team principal who controls the team's day-to-day operations to the technicians who work tirelessly on the car during the weekend. Each team member is essential to getting the car up and running. When you're watching a Grand Prix, however, you'll hear one voice over the radio. Repeatedly, that's the race engineer. The race engineer's job is to act as a link between the driver and the team. When the driver is in the car, race engineers become the only point of contact for him. He serves as the driver's second set of eyes and ears, notifying him of the situation on the track, such as what other people's lap times are, whether there will be any traffic, and whether there are many hazards on the circuit, and whatnot. The race engineer is also the factory's main point of contact for learning about drivers' feedback from the car and doing all possible things to deliver their driver the best possible performance and ensure a successful race weekend. Racing engineers are among the team members having the closest relationship with a driver, to the point where some drivers swap teams with a race engineer. Surprisingly, Max Verstappen said that, for him, the person in that precise position is in charge of his career's destiny. He said so shortly after winning the World Championship in Abu Dhabi. Verstappen told the media that if he can't work with this race engineer any longer, he will retire from racing. But who is his race engineer? And what is it about their relationship that makes the freshly crowned champion eager to leave Formula 1 if he can't work with him any longer? Verstappen was paired with Gianpiero Lambiase after he was promoted to Red Bull in mid-2016. Gianpiero was born in London to Italian parents, and before joining Red Bull, he worked for Force India with Antonio Luisi, Paul Di Resta and Sergio Perez in his function as Verstappen's race engineer. The new Formula 1 world champion acknowledged the importance of Gianpiero, whom he lovingly referred to as GP. Max Verstappen has stated that if GP decides to retire, he will also retire from Formula 1. He simply wishes to collaborate with them. "It's unbelievable how well we work together," he says. He went on to say that they are sometimes harsh with one another, but sometimes it is necessary. He expects GP to tell him when he is being a jerk. Max always acknowledges GP, even on the radio, because they share that kind of deep understanding. But thankfully, things have been going exceptionally well recently. GP has been attempting to be the engineer and Max has been attempting to be the driver for the past 3 years. Verstappen's mentality, on the other hand, did not change when he won the title. Earlier in the season, Verstappen lauded GP, stating that his race engineer always finds a way to stay cool. He has a lot of admiration for him because of how calm he remains even during the race times. When you're driving, your pulse rate increases and you feel under strain. You have your moments where you speak up or raise your voice, but if the other person does the same from the other side, you may end up in a major dispute over the radio while driving, which is never a good thing. In the realm of competition, it's critical to have a trusted advisor, someone who can tell you what you're doing is wrong and assist you in correcting it. This is where the mutual respect between the drivers and race engineers comes into play. You can't take criticism from someone you don't trust or respect. Verstappen spoke about this element of their friendship, emphasizing the value of having someone with whom you can disagree and dispute while still working toward a similar goal and remaining friendly. He and GP are often discussing stuff. Also, when they have arguments or other issues, they quickly overcome them because, at the end of the day, they all have the same aim. They both want to be victorious every weekend. They put forth the effort and achieve the finest potential outcome. True, they do get a little emotional at times, but that is a normal aspect of racing. Red Bull employees are satisfied with their collaboration as well. Helmut Marko is believed to be quite amused by their conversation during each race. According to Verstappen, Helmut agrees that it is quite lovely. Of course, he's also paying attention to Verstappen's side, and he likes how he and GP communicate with one another. Max and GP's bond is undeniably extraordinary, and it will be intriguing to watch their friendship develop over time. There are several other driver-race engineer combinations also, on the other hand, have become legendary in Formula 1. Rob Smedley, who is best known to most fans as Felipe Massa's longtime race engineer, is one of them. As the two got tantalizingly close to capturing the 2008 world title, his calming tones helped to calm Massa. Despite winning the season-ending presenting Grand Prix, Massa was just 1 point behind Lewis Hamilton in the driver's title. After battling toe-to-toe with the McLaren driver all season, Smedley confesses that this was exceedingly tough to swallow. When he stopped working, the emotion came out. He sat down after removing his headset. He thought that was a little amusing. This didn't feel like a typical victory or defeat. This was considerably more significant than that. Then he became really sad and cried for over an hour. He had to fend for himself. He simply selected a quiet corner of the garage that was somewhat enclosed. It took him almost an hour to regain his composure because the overwhelming passion of competition had been with him for a year. Even though Massa's title ambitions were shattered, their alliance remained intact until Massa's retirement in 2017. When thinking on their time together, Massa recalled his first race with Rob, the 2006 Grand Prix at the Nürburgring. Working together gave him a pleasant sensation, he said. Smedley was a lot more composed than Massa had been. Smedley joined Williams alongside Massa in 2014, taking over as the Vantage-based team's head of vehicle performance. Massa expressed his trust in Rob to the media at the time, emphasizing his knowledge of the car and their friendship. He was an expert who understood everything there was to know about the car. According to Massa, Smedley was extremely knowledgeable and knew a great deal about what it takes to be competitive. They had a wonderful relationship from the beginning. To Massa, he was more than just a brilliant engineer. Peter Bonington, Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes engineer, has recently become well known. The Hamilton-Bonington partnership had barely just begun when the Max GP duo stormed to 6 world titles. Lewis had affections for Peter Bonington, or Bono, in the same way that Max does with GP. Hamilton's friendship with Bono is based on a sit-down conversation in which they discuss their backgrounds, journeys, and objectives. There were times when he had to help him up. There were times when he was stumped as to what he could do to improve the car, and he is always there for him. There are sometimes days when it is the opposite way around. There were times during the race when Hamilton was down and out, unsure of himself. Bono, his race engineer, was the one who pushed him to do better. As a result, that conversation or that small boost that you might get from open communications can make a significant difference. Bono has always been in Lewis Hamilton's camp, bringing him to victory when it seemed impossible. Bono, like GP, has played a key role in Mercedes' remarkable success with Lewis Hamilton. The drivers' voices have been heard through these race engineers. They're coaching them through it all, telling them things they don't want to hear, and collaborating to win races. It's always wonderful when drivers bring attention to the folks who work behind the scenes so that fans may appreciate what they do. With that, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. We hope that we were able to throw some light on the crucial work that goes on behind the scenes in Formula One. How do you feel about this? Is it possible that some individuals of your team are receiving insufficient attention? How crucial do you think the connection between Verstappen and GP is? Please share your thoughts in the section below. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and click the bell to be notified when new videos are uploaded. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, peace.